Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Tuesday tip, where in this week's video I'm going to be showing you how to tell if your BMX frame is bent, more specifically how to tell if the rear triangle on your BMX frame is bent. And all you need to do this are the tools to take off your rear wheel, a piece of string that's long enough, and something to measure with. So let's get right on into it and show you guys what's going on here. As you can see, we've removed the rear wheel, which I don't need to show you how to do. And we've taken a piece of string and we've wrapped it around the head tube, through the dropout, through the other dropout, and then back around and tied it at the head tube. And as you can see, I've put it underneath all of my braking components, made sure that it's not wrapped around the chain and that there's nothing impeding things, and that the only place the string is in contact with is the frame, so that we can get accurate measurements here. We need to get accurate measurements because we're going to be comparing two things and two measurements on this frame to see if they're different and tell if the frame is bent. And where we're going to be measuring is from the string to the seat tube. And if you think about it, a perfectly straight BMX frame should be symmetrical on both sides, because it should be exactly the same on either side of the frame and either side of the dropout. So when we measure this, it should be exactly the same. So that's why you want to make sure if you have brakes or anything like that, that you get the string underneath of it and that it's not touching anything else to change this measurement and affect it in any way, because we need to make sure and be precise on this. And with that, let's just double check here. We've got it. We also probably want to make sure that it's in the same spot on both sides and that it's in the same spot on the dropouts. Basically anything that could affect this measurement in a way that isn't the straightness of the frame. And I think I've got it pretty good here. And I actually have two frames here that are exactly the same, so we can compare these measurements and see. And as you can see, I don't have the string on the other one yet because I wanted to run through showing you guys how to do that quickly, and we can time lapse through that because I feel like it's pretty simple and it's probably already done. So let's get to measuring both of these frames and see if either of them have a bent rear triangle. Sorry for the quick camera change, but my phone was just not having this 90-degree heat. Either way though, we've got our tape measure now, so let's start taking some measurements and see what we come up with. We're gonna do this in millimeters just so we can be a little bit more accurate. So like I said, we're gonna be taking the measurement from the string to our seat tube, and if we do that in millimeters, we get about 34 millimeters, as you can see right here. Now it's a little harder to film measuring the other side, but we're gonna do our best here. And as you can see, it is almost in the exact same spot at 34 millimeters. And that's really all we need to do to know that this frame is perfectly straight. So let's take it to the other frame and see what it gives us. And as we can see here, this one is 34 millimeters as well. And we can see here that the other side is 34 millimeters as well. And if our frames were bent here, we would have saw some sort of difference in these measurements. So there we have it. According to the measurements, both of these BMX frames are perfectly straight. I don't know about tolerances or anything like that whenever frames are being built, so I don't know if there's any variation there in the numbers. I just know that both of these frames have the exact same number on both sides of the frame whenever measured, and I feel like that just means that they're perfectly straight. So with that being said, I'm sure there's other ways to measure whether or not a frame is bent, and if you know one of them, please leave it in the comments down below. But this method just seems so simple and just makes so much sense, and the fact that all you need to do it is to take off your rear wheel and have a piece of string as well as something to measure with means that it's just accessible to just about anyone. And as soon as my buddy John Kortz, who recently started up Work BMX Frames, told me about it and told me that I could share it with you guys, I knew that I had to, in hopes that it would just help someone. And if it did help you and you guys aren't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button down below so that hopefully we can see you tomorrow for another video. I want to thank you guys all for being here and watching, and goodbye.